MOT Show.
Right.
Rock on.
Right on, Jay.
Thanks for coming over and sharing some of your thoughts with us here.
Get it done.
All right. A lot of going on. Gold at what?
Tons going on.
1,020?
Yeah, 1,020 and backed off to 1,015, but it's staying over 1,000 now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Pretty technically bullish there. All right, let's get going here. Hello, Mr. MOT. Does the USA remind you of any past nation that has failed? And if so, what characteristics do you see that they share in common? Thanks to you and your family for all your time and information you provide. Take care, JJ.
Okay, thanks, JJ. You know, I immediately think of the Roman Empire. Yeah, I was reading a thing on aqueducts in the Roman Empire, and I've been to Europe, and those Roman aqueducts are like all over the place. They're in France, and I think it goes into Greece. But the Roman Empire was huge, big, powerful, and they thought they were going to pretty much dominate the earth for a long time. And they did for quite a while, but they became proud and then corrupt, and then they collapsed.
Right.
And there's still, you know, aqueducts and things that shows that they were there, but if anything, the United States reminds me of the Roman Empire. It's become huge, proud, very corrupt, and we're witnessing the collapse right now. And some people see it more clearly than others. It's financially, mathematically, for sure, has already pretty much happened, and just being propped up. But it reminds me of the Roman Empire.
Okay, great question. Thanks, JJ.
Yep.
Hey, MOT, what is the purpose of this life? I know, big question, but was curious to know MOT's point of view on this topic. Cheers, Phil.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you might know I've been taking some yoga lately, which has been a very interesting experience for me because, you know, I'm used to kind of lifting with Chip. I had a great workout and kind of just really hitting it hard in the weight room with rock music and stuff. And then this yoga thing is, you know, namaste. There we go, namaste. And just doing new moves and stretches. And I tell you, it kicks my butt. And then at the end of it, they'll have you lay like in a position like a little baby. And by then you think, oh man, this feels really good. So actually, this one teacher, she's really phenomenal. She mentioned that the other day, the Great Spirit like can bring light through your head. Some people will call it the top chakra or whatever. And then as you spread it out to the universe, you bless the universe, and then it comes back into you and you can send it back up. And I thought that was a pretty good concept.
Cool.
And then after I worked out tonight, I went and thought I'd, you know, sweat out a little bit, so I was in, you know, in
Saunas?
the sauna. Yeah, thanks, Jay.
Yeah, sure.
It's been a long day for me.
No problem.
But anyway, a guy said, you know, what's the purpose of life? He just brought it up.
Wow.
And so I just was talking about it. And I really think it's about, you know, like helping other people and love, and I brought up the whole light thing. And in a lot of the experiences that we've been having lately, life's very intense, and frankly, it's going to get extremely intense, I think, in the next 60 to 90 days for a lot of reasons, which we cover on manoftruth.org. Financial, of course, the swine flu is going to be a lot bigger than many people suspect. Once again, in the sauna, I think it was about 8 months ago, you know, after I didn't go to Mexico with George, which, you know, whatever on that. But the nurse said, oh yeah, swine flu is nothing. And she was just thinking, yeah, the regular flu that people got wasn't anything. But people need to look at what's going on. And when WHO, the World Health Organization, declares a level 6 pandemic, that's the highest level. You need to consider that. So we're going to see some things go on with life and decisions with the whole swine flu thing coming up right away. In fact, today I noticed on the news the H1N1 vaccine was approved for use today. So
wow,
life's going to be interesting and intense.
Okay, so your synopsis would be that it's all about sharing light and love?
It's about experience. It's about experience. And people, you know, people can get in dark places, light places, but I think if you just embrace what comes to you, I don't care whether you're overweight or, you know, if you lost your house. I mean, people are going through some pretty traumatic things right now. Not everybody's rich, you know, and playing golf in Pebble Beach.
Right.
It's nice to do that.
Sure.
But people are going through a lot of stress, and if you just say, you know, tomorrow the sun's going to come up and it's going to be a better day, life is about experience. So no matter how bad it gets, even if there's a death or whatever, you just like keep going and don't give up. So it's about experience.
Okay, great. Hey, MOT, what do you think about predictions that the USA will fall apart in the upcoming years? From Bill Biller.
Bill, thanks for the question. How about falling apart in the upcoming months. That's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm bold enough to say upcoming months. You know, this like 401k or something will be intact 3 or 4 years from now. Forget it. Social Security is going to, you know, I was watching a guy on YouTube, and he was talking about several years in the future. It's at the doors. It's at the doors. And I know, you know, you're a young guy and you're in your 20s and people don't want to hear that. And you think, we've heard that before, but financially, mathematically, it's already collapsed. It's being artificially propped up. And this artificial show, even if the powers that be wanted it to continue going, they couldn't keep the charade going for another year or two. But I think they're ready to frankly, pull the plug. And I think they're going to pull the plug in the next few months. So.
And by saying charade, you mean the market going up recently?
Market going up, 30-year bond, like, you know, lending the U.S. government money at 4.17% for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, I think if there was no intervention from the Federal Reserve, no intervention from the Treasury, and it was just up to the Chinese to buy it, you know, the Chinese are getting pretty skittish. That's why we're watching gold go up.
Right.
In fact, you might know the Chinese government advised their citizens to buy gold.
Exactly.
So if there was no interference in the government markets, Jason, I think that you would see interest rates over 5 or 6. And I think that when the Fed and the Treasury stop buying and there's no interference, we're going to see that 30-year bond shoot up over 6. Hasn't happened yet, so I haven't issued the thing, but that's another thing that we got to do on the website.
Cool.
For the traders that want to trade a 30-year bond.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the night. Hey, MOT, I want to know what's your take on like-minded people settling together. There are a few pro-liberty movements regarding this idea, such as the Free State Project, Seasteading, and a few others. At first, I thought they were the greatest ideas, but after some thought, I started doubting about the fact of how much easier it is to target people if they're all together in one particular location. So do you have any thoughts about it? I would love to listen to what you think. Keep up the great job. Lots of energy coming out of your show. Best of luck. Buenos Aires. From Eric.
Okay, that's a huge question for me. Eric, muchas gracias por la pregunta. Jason, thanks for coming across that.
Yeah, sure.
You know, Jason never lived in Argentina, but I lived there 4 years as a child and then 2 years as a missionary. And I've gone back to visit at least 2 or 3 times.
Cool.
So I have a certain love for Argentina. And I've thought about it as a place of refuge. And I think about, frankly, Eric, I think about this question every day because I have cool people like all over that have invited me to visit them or even to survive with them. And I'm still here in the Rocky Mountains. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have a premonition that the coastal areas will not be a good place to be. I mean, I think California is beautiful. I love it, but I just don't think it's a good place to be for the end times. Neither do I feel that way about New York City or the East Coast. And I wouldn't, even about Buenos Aires, you know, it's right there, it's pretty flat. I would go inland, and I would rather be closer to the mountains. And so in my view, this chain that goes all the way from Canada down through Central America and South America, I think the mountains is the place to be. And as far as targeting people, actually, you know, as you know, I'm looking for a place to live right now. And I've been thinking about this an awful lot. But I think what's going to happen is the United States is it's going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart. And it's going to fall apart in the next few years. The pieces of the puzzle are there, and so it's de facto going to fall apart. When it falls apart, yeah, the government will try to control things, and then they're going to fail. And this is like the whole subject of another DVD, so that's why it's such a great question. But I think, frankly, the United States, I know, it'll descend into anarchy. And it'll be down to people you can trust. So what's going on right now, it's really critical to be with people you kind of trust. And I kind of think, you know, I've been thinking about this for years, actually. But some of the people that are close to me are not, you know, don't think like I think. So my friends and what's become my family tends to be, you know, people that are not necessarily my blood family in a lot of cases. But I think that there'll be groups of people that you can trust in Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, different places like that. And so I look forward actually to some of my viewers maybe moving out to the Rocky Mountains and you know, becoming closer friends and sharing fruit trees and growing stuff, because a lot of things are already in place. And I don't talk about a lot of things, but you need to find the people that you can trust in life or death situations, and then follow the Great Spirit. tune in and move to where you want to move to.
So do you think it's more of a benefit of like-minded people being together to be able to fight against some type of force, or do you think they're more highly targetable because they're, a David Koresh type compound? Or
You have to be very wise on this thing. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. I talk to people,
yeah, you have a lot
frankly, in the agencies.
you have a lot of different
and in the
connections.
military, guys that are Fortune 1000 CEOs. It's pretty interesting, and I try to distill that and teach the truth on YouTube, and wherever I have a chance to teach truth. But there's different. It gets really, really intense. But even like in the military and the FBI and in the services, there's kind of two schools. There's some of the younger folks are like, yeah, let's do this, and then you've got older, more seasoned folks that are hold to the Constitution, and you've got younger ones too. But you've got people that hold the Constitution. They would never think of firing on one of their fellow citizens, and other people that would never think of disobeying orders. So it's going to be very intense, and I think there'll be divisions even within the police forces and the military. I think that's going to happen. So I think just loving your neighbors, and it's going to be about food. It's not really that threatening to have an apple tree and do this and do that and share this and that. I think if somebody says, you know what, and there's people like that, I'm going to get my gun and go steal people's food storage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be karma. There's going to be, I think good's going to finally be rewarded. And there's a lot of good people that are very powerful. There's lots of them. And in the Rocky Mountains, these people aren't wimpy people out here. It's not like Washington, D.C., where they say, oh, yeah, we can't have a gun. Back here, it's like the Second Amendment. And you might know there's I think there's well over, 300 million guns in the United States.
Right on.
So people believe in the Second Amendment, and people are not going to give up their guns because they're real patriots, and they're not these people that are completely clueless, hate the Constitution, and would seriously think of giving up the Second Amendment. That's insanity. That's un-American and unconstitutional, and that is the bottom line on the Second Amendment.
Awesome. Hey, well, thanks for everybody tuning in and asking the questions on the Hey MOT thread on the Truth Forum at manoftruth.org. Thanks a lot, and we'll tune in next time. Appreciate it, MOT.
Good job, Jason.
Hey,
Way to go.
And congrats on your radio.
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, that was
Dennis
awesome.
Neal, thanks. We're rocking, and I've got a lot more invitations, so I'm considering them.
Awesome. We'll see ya.
Ciao.